Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a kingdom that was blessed with golden fields, tall mountains and rivers that sparkled like silver. It was a prosperous and peaceful kingdom, and its people loved their kind and wise emperor. The emperor, known as Emperor Wei, had 2 children who were twins, a princess named Lin and a prince named Jian. They were born on the same day, under the same moonlight, and many believed that this meant that they both carried the destiny of the throne. The twins grew up to be strikingly similar in appearance, yet vastly different in character. Lin was graceful and clever, spending most of her time with scholars, while Jian was strong and brave, preferring to spend his days with the soldiers. This caused a bit of tension within the kingdom, as people began to wonder who would succeed their father as the emperor. Lin believed that it should be her, as she was smarter than her brother, and Jian believed that it should be him, because he was stronger. As the years passed, Emperor Wei grew older and weaker, and he knew that it was time for him to choose a successor. So he called for his children. "My beloved twins," he began, "I see greatness in both of you, but only one can be the ruler of Liang after me. You must prove who is worthy, not through greed or deceit, but through wisdom, courage, and the love of our people." His words planted a seed of rivalry between the twins, for they were both determined to win the throne. From that day on, whispers spread across the kingdom that the twins would soon battle for the throne. Some nobles supported Lin, believing that a clever mind was the true strength of a ruler, while others supported Jean, believing that the kingdom needed a fierce warrior to protect it. At first, their arguments were subtle, nothing more than jabs at each other's capabilities. But slowly, their frustration grew, and their voices grew louder. One day, they both declared, "I will fight for the throne." Their father was deeply disappointed, but he knew that he had to let them have their way. If not, the constant arguing would tear their relationship apart, and so he announced that the battle would take place in the great courtyard. On the day of the challenge, the entire kingdom gathered to watch. Their father, though weak, sat on the golden throne to observe. The first trial was a test of wisdom. The twins were presented with a puzzle to untangle a knot of red silk threads. Jian pulled hard and frowned in concentration, but Lin remained calm. After a few moments, she gently loosened the threads and untangled the knot. The crowd cheered. "Princess Lin is wise." For the second trial, the twins had to lift a heavy stone to test their strength. Lin tried, but she couldn't budge the stone. Jian, however, strained and lifted it above his head. The soldiers roared, "Prince John is strong." Now the trials were tied. Lin had proven herself to be wise, and John had proven himself to be strong. The deciding trial was a test of heart. A poor farmer was brought before them. He bowed and said, "Great prince and princess, my family is starving. The floods have destroyed my crops. Will you help me?" Without hesitation, Jin reached out and offered the farmer some gold. "Here, farmer, take this and rebuild your home." Lin, however, knelt beside the farmer and said, "I will send workers to rebuild your land, and I will make sure no flood will ever harm your fields again." As Lin and Jean looked out over their people, they realized that being emperor was not about power or prestige, but about serving their people. They turned to their father and bowed. "Father, we have realized that a true ruler doesn't just think of themselves, but also their kingdom. We want to rule together." Their father's face lit up with joy, and he announced, "From this day forward, you shall rule as one. Lin will be the queen of wisdom, and Jean will be the king of strength, and together you will protect Liang." And so the battle for the throne ended not with a war, but with unity. Lin and John ruled together, bringing prosperity and justice to their people. They became known as the twin heirs of Liang, and their names were remembered for centuries. And that's all for today's story. If you liked it, please click the like button below and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new video. We'll see you next time.